Thank you, sir. Okay, we've got minute approval from the regular meeting of November 4th.
Yeah, I thought they looked accurate. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
John,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes. And then we had the special meeting from November 4th. I didn't have any comments on that. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
John,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Okay, trustee reports, Mr. Everly.
I just have a couple things. We did get in the truck, Mark's truck, and of course we sold his existing truck for $38,000, so that was a good thing. Sure helped bring the cost down. Very pleased with the new truck build, and we will probably keep that as our build right now and for the next truck, where you need to get, most of the parts are on barges and boats out in LA Harbor right now, so we probably really need to put this thing in an order in for this truck by January. I also have been chatting with our man from Windstream, and we're kind of in a little bit waiting for these guys, the lawyers, to all ferret out what is exactly in this infrastructure package. There's a fair amount of money for broadband in rural areas, and they haven't, surprisingly, they haven't really written any of the rules yet for what any of this is going to be done, but they're definitely on this, and I still think that they've got enough of a foot of fiber and started, that's the way we got to go. We can't look at something that's less than quote state of the art right now, because let's be honest, the internet's not going away. And it's where people are going to go, oh, well, I have 25. No, the people are going to laugh at you because everybody's going to need 100.
Oh, yeah, it's.
So,
Especially people working from
I
home.
think we're making some progress. I don't want to give anybody false hope, but I think we're making some progress. This is not the easiest hill to climb, but salt-wise, we're all set. We did go out. Everything worked out fine. We did blow a line, of course. It's just the nature of the beast, but yeah, no, it worked out good. That's all I got.
Okay, I'm gonna jump on while you're on the topic of the internet. We just got ours, we don't use ours much for work, like emails and things like that, And we had the older DSL.
Yeah.
And we were paying like $45 for it. And they like doubled the price of it, basically, because they don't want to have to be.
Try to get you to go away?
To not be using the older system. But we don't have, we have AT&T, so we don't have the fiber optic there. But they still wanted to upgrade us, and they put us on a 5G. They sent basically a 5G modem, and we're getting, I think we're on 12 gig, because that's all we need, or 12 meg. But, it's only like $90 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So, for anybody, I think, out here that can't get anything, that would be an option.
The only thing is, though, Mike, my thinking, this is just my personal thinking. Let's not put a gravel road in, let's pave it. Because eventually it's gotta be paved. And that's sort of how the approach I've been taking.
Yeah, I'd only talk this for somebody in the short term until we can get the infrastructure set up.
Right.
For somebody
right.
that doesn't have anything and really needed it.
I think that's the answer. Now, it's interesting, I know, Zach changed everything at the shop over, 'cause they send in big files and all kinds of stuff for drawings and everything. And his attitude is you can't have enough capacity.
Well, now we're
That
just sending
it's
big
just
files.
keep going and going, but I don't know, we'll see where this, I'm not terribly in favor of this expenditures, but if we can get some money to spend, where these guys Windstream can get money to spend and expand this, I think
Plus, we can get
it's
some
good.
county money for it. It's,
Right,
I mean, it's one of the biggest issues we have, so.
it is the
money we'll
biggest
spend.
issue.
It's not like we haven't tried every effort.
Oh, no,
It's been thrown our way over
I'm
the
sick,
years.
I'm to be honest with you,
Yeah.
I've been yakking at these guys and I mean, we really spent a lot of time with Southern Link, a lot of time. And it just went poof in the air, so
Okay,
that's all I got.
PJ?
A couple things, I gave a little, I've been talking to Pete McDonald over at the Conservancy as we're trying to get that easement changed in order to expand the parking lot at the park. And he requested some of this information that I copied you guys. Jennifer Moore up at KCE wrote us a really good
Yeah,
recommendation.
very nice.
And
yeah.
she's been on top of this, and she might be involved in this, well, she probably will, maybe
Yeah.
some more.
She's been she's been the one who's been bringing this up for
She's the
parking
front- she's the
situation
front
for a
line,
while.
yeah.
She's on the front line for it.
Yeah. So he wanted that, and actually what he wanted was the map with our proposed ingress egress. A question he asked me when he called me was, and I think he was being devil's advocate, because I think he already knew this, I know he did, because we talked about it before. Why can't we expand the parking lot in front of the Parker building? I said, well, Pete, that's gonna create.
That doesn't
We've
solve
talked-
the problem
we've
at
talked-
all.
We've talked about it here. I said, Pete, that's gonna create cross-traffic. You got pedestrian traffic there all the
And
time.
you just
So
have-
you got people making lefts and people making rights. I
It
said, no,
doesn't
I said,
say-
we
He
gotta,
doesn't understand the
no,
problem.
I told you, he was playing devil's
Yeah.
advocate. Somebody
That doesn't-
above him asked him to ask this question.
No, that doesn't.
Okay,
even
don't throw it on-
begin to
don't throw it
solve
on
the
Pete,
problem.
because he's
No,
been good to
I'm
work
just
with.
saying, that doesn't begin to solve the problem.
No, and I made that clear to him. I said, he says, could you send us a map with that proposed ingress egress? I said, absolutely. So we got that to him, and he did mention the Indiana bat situation. So construction would be limited, and he's gonna expedite this. He said it feels pretty good that it'll go through in time that we'll be able to do that tree work and make that a project for early next year.
Good.
So, I went to an OPWC meeting yesterday, and I talked to Emmerich about that today. A few years back, and John, you're very familiar with this stuff, nobody was using that loan program. So they changed the criteria, so you get added points if you borrow money. It's a government thing. Nothing really exciting or good gossip, because this wasn't Jogger County's year. This is the year they deal with Ashtabula and Lake for the most part. There's some Portage County stuff too. But it's interesting how every application now includes either a $50,000 loan or a $150,000 loan. Because you borrow 50 grand, you get 3 points. Borrow 150 grand, you get 5 points. I don't know that Joe's gonna steer us that way from now on. But certainly that's what the other engineers are
Yeah.
doing.
What kind of a rate do they loan you this money at, though?
It's generally 0%,
Is it?
and you pay it back over the life of the proposed project.
Project.
Yes.
10 years, yeah.
10 years for a road, I mean, some people are doing sewers, so you're
Yeah,
at 4
yeah,
years.
Yeah.
It's certainly what every other engineer's doing. I don't know that Joe Catel's gonna start telling us to do the same thing, but that's the new trend, for sure.
See what he recommends.
Yeah, and we talked about some down the road issue two potential things. The other thing you had, I think it's over there, Fred, in that paperclip pile in front of you.
Uh-huh.
Mike, you remember when we both walked in that one meeting in early summer with a manila envelope and the state had more money for road projects? You brought yours in the same night I did. It was from
Yeah.
ODOT. Emmerich and I have been following this, and nobody's making any applications for this free money. It's free money. It's federal money sent to the state of Ohio Department of Transportation through one of the COVID things, and they're kicking it to the townships. We finally we had it on the back burner for the longest time. We finally made an application. There's a copy of it over there. Fred's got it right now. I think it's $175,000, Fred, for guardrails for Valley Road.
I'm sorry.
There's a lot of stuff there.
Is there any money for sidewalks, you think?
We didn't look on the sidewalks, I can tell you
It'd be
that.
really nice, you know, now.
We'll wait till next year's
We
funding.
didn't look into that.
Be nice to have sidewalks, but just by the Ladue, and now if you look at Cerna's and the brewery, it's lit up and there's people, just to make it be really nice, especially if there's all this extra money for infrastructure. You know, from Ladue, and there's some.
I can tell you, we did not look into sidewalks this year. We did not. You're talking around the corner, East Washington, the 44. Our first contact, if this board was interested, would have to be the state of Ohio and the county, because that's all gotta get engineered. all
And
that.
even by Ladue would be nice, because it's such a beautiful, with the birds. I took a picture of a bunch of eagles tonight.
Yeah.
Just a nice nature walk thing.
I can't say that'd be a priority with me. I don't know what the rest of the board would think, but,
I think it would be.
What could be more natural than lack of sidewalks?
It's, you know, it's just be nice, you know, so many people try to cycle down the roads here and they're so dangerous, but just be nice if you get a little exercise in Auburn and not worry about getting hit by a car.
I would put that on the list of something to think about,
Okay.
but, priority, no, I can't.
I know it's not a priority, but it'd be
Can't
nice.
think of that.
If there was extra infrastructure money, it might be something to look into.
Yeah, we've got a pot of money now. Fred, what was that again? 74 or something. I'm gonna say project 1A is this parking lot expansion over at the park.
They're very specific
Of what you can
items
spend
of
it
what you can spend this money on. As the parking lot in the park is because parks are specifically put in as a allowable item, but
I mean, like Ladue, there's people park in the parking lot and walk, but they're walking on the road. You go to like, you know, all these other parks.
What you're talking about, Jason, is that right now, we don't have, there's so many people like on, when they're playing games and stuff up there.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going in and out the same way, so if you have a way to expand the parking, but also make it so there'll be one way in, one way out, and solve it so that some kid isn't running around there and getting hit by the cars driving through there.
It's pretty important to have that for sure.
Yeah, so that's the first and foremost. I know the fire department submitted a list of,
and I will address that in
yeah,
May.
so I'll defer on that for the next one. But anyway, the Valley Road guardrail thing, which does fit into this extra ODOT money, Shane Hajar wrote us recommendation on that. I guess he ended up doing, we thought we'd be the only proposal, there ended up 6 other townships had the same thought at the same time, so.
Everybody at the same time.
He
Hey,
kinda
nobody's
got
doing
swamped,
this, let's do it.
yeah, that's it. So he kinda got swamped at the end, but ours is one of them. Guardrails, ours, he rated ours as, if 9 is up to date, adequate guardrails, he gave those a 3, and that's only because we did replace some guardrail a few years ago. But anyway, so there's another chasing grant money that we try to do every chance we get here. And that's all I got.
Okay, and it brings me to my report, which was gonna go on. I remember the last meeting, asked the fire department to go through anything they could think of that would fall under these, getting some of this funding. And they came up with 3 things. One, 2 of them were under personal protective equipment. Basically, they were looking at air tanks and turnout gear. Third item they had was they were looking at a follow-up vehicle, which is basically a first response vehicle. They right now we've got an Explorer which loaded up, that gets to site first with somebody and starts getting everything set up before the ambulance can actually get there. But we sent that up to the prosecutor and we got a response back, and she basically said, well, that's not the kind of personal protective equipment we were talking about. Anything, because she was nice about it, she said, you'd have to tie this to COVID somehow, which that's going to be a tight thing. And the vehicle, she just said no. So anyway, the 3 ideas we had were totally blown out by the prosecutor's office, and so you don't have to worry about that money being spent. You can put that back in the kitty. So
Well, Jason wants sidewalks.
pretty quick to go in, go out, and get thrown out all in 2 weeks.
That is quick.
Well, we can, one of the things that I was talking with Emmerich about though, Mike, is we were gonna get Todd to run, when you drive up the driveway, extend that right down to the posts at the south end. Just put another couple courses going to the east. And the other thing is we only put a mid-coat, we never put a top coat on in the driveway.
Okay.
And that, we hired Todd, we bought all the asphalt, but Todd did it, he did an excellent job.
I'd say that would be a good post-parking lot construction
Yeah,
thing
Yeah.
to do then.
but I think it would be an
Yeah,
excellent.
that should fit right
And
into
then
what
cut
I'm looking
down
at.
the dust.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, that was all I had. Fred?
I've got your regular financial reports in front of you, and I have a resolution here. So I need you to appropriate some money. So resolution 2021-33. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio, that the following supplemental appropriations are necessary in the general fund: $2,000 to account 1,127.40 machinery, equipment, and furniture. And this money is primarily for a couple of microwaves that we need for Town Hall and Adam Hall, and coffee pots, and then some tables. That's the resolution.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
John,
Yes,
PJ,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
that's all I have.
Okay. We have nothing under old business and nothing under new business.
that's what I like.
Okay.
That time of year.
All right, so make a motion to go into executive session. Oh, Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate just asking a couple of questions about the warrants, and yes, I know you have executive session. One question, will there be any business conducted after executive session is over?
No, there'll be no business conducted.
Okay, so, Fred, these are questions about warrants, and I guess my biggest interest is about warrant number 6707, which was either skipped or it's not listed on the warrant list. So I don't know if that needs explanation or not, and then there are a couple of others that
I'm not sure offhand which one that is. I'd have to take a look at that.
okay, because 6706 was Western Reserve Land, and 6708 was Jane Hardy, and it looked as though there was nothing at all for
Uh,
6707.
Could have been possibly a payroll withholding.
Okay, maybe I can check back with you on that one then. Fire, 6709, fire detection, Inc.
Right?
Yeah, for 1200, what was that, please?
That was to test the fire extinguisher systems, the sprinkler systems in the road garage, and then make some repairs to them.
Okay. And the 6706, the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, is that for membership? The
No.
3500?
No, that's a payment towards our contract to have them adjust our conservation easement.
That's for the parking lot.
Oh.
Expansion.
That's how they do it
Okay.
now.
So they're gonna facilitate for you then? I don't.
Well, we have to get them to change the contract, so we have to pay them, they have to approve it, and that's the only way we can go through with this, because it has to be adjustment to the original easements and,
But they were open and willing to be of assistance in this situation then?
well, not assistants, they're the ones that have to do it.
They're the ones holding it.
They're the ones that hold it.
Okay,
Don't call it assistance.
well,
You know,
for want of another
We got-
word.
Obviously, we got a gun to our head, they've got it, and they're the only ones who can change it.
Okay. Okay, thank you for the explanation.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, in that case, we'll go into executive session for the purpose of 2022 BZA ZC KCE representative interviews per RC 121.22G.
Is that a motion?
Yes, it is.
Second.
John,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.